Hello, it's me. I am back. Um, yeah, here with Candy. Checking out Candy for the first time, like previously, and I'm on page 13. I was okay. Just a little off the topic of Candy itself, real quick. I was just looking back at the first few pages of the Homestuck, and I'm wondering how often does John's like John being an aspiring amateur magician come into play? I I can't really remember how much that happens to Homestuck, and I'm trying to remember now. I think when I eventually do go back to Homestuck, probably fairly short here, I'm gonna try to hunt down anything magician related. So I feel like maybe Act One had a couple things with that. Act Two, no. Does the windy thing count as magic? Like a magician? No, it has to be like magician-y stuff. I guess magic isn't real, so it doesn't make a difference. Hello, hello. If you remember correctly, the counter will go up today. The counter will go up today. Um, yeah. Boom. Ah, that. Um, Starting on page 13. I looked one page ahead, and I saw that if I read one more page yesterday, I would have been on epilogue 3. But oh well, oh well. Because I just read the one on Dave's page. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. So when I go back, and I don't have like a specific date and time or anything like that chosen for it, but I do have an intention of going back. Probably live too. Um, yeah. Boom. Get right into this. Can I zoom in a little more? Is that good? That's not too bad. Okay. They do have a conversation right away. Okay. So, what was going on here again? Dave went to John because he needed advice with the man's and Jade and whatnot in that relationship. And then did Dave come up with the idea to see Dirk about it, or did someone else recommend it? Oh, da 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 da. Uh, hmm. I Okay, it was Dave. It was Dave. Yeah, and John was confused by that sentiment. If I Okay, I remember now. Okay, and Dirk was going like haywire or something, and Jane and Jake smashed. I guess. Okay, page 13. Dave and Dirk don't talk that much about the heavy stuff. They don't need to. Dave can hear his brother's voice in his head. Not like literally, that would be insane. But Dave knows what his bro is like. Dirk, or a version of him, instilled in Dave a way of living and thinking that would, for better or worse, persist far beyond the first 13 years of his upbringing. Who should Dave date? Jade or Carcat? Um, he should date neither one of them. Become a Tibetan monk and train this universe's Batman. Yes, yes. Uh, no, but I would lean towards Carcat out of those two options. Carcat heavily, Jade very low. Actually, Jade in this thing at least very low, very low. And even on Earthsea, it'd be kind of tough to say the dude's general overbearing demeanor wasn't sufficient to perpetuate the conditioning. So it's rare he has to guess what Dirk would say he should do. But when it comes to the boondoggle, okay. When it comes to the boondoggle involved with triangulating his interpersonal relationships with Jade and Karkat, Dave is shooting blanks. He has no idea what to do, no idea what to say, and for once, the ghost in his head doesn't either. Once, he might have expected the end of the haunting to come as a relief. Ah. But now he finally sits quietly in his own mind, with nothing but his meanger facilities, faculties, faculties to guide his hand, and the silence is deafening. Wish Jade had a good romance option. Wish Jade was a better character. No, no. Okay, I've mentioned this before. I keep seeing Jade, just Jade, random Jade things like shit posts. I guess. Oh yeah, it's about shit posts like this on my feed. It's only ever Jade. It's no other character, and it's been swaying my opinion on Jade just ever so slightly. Um, Nepeta's there too, kind of sometimes in random ways. In other in other shit posts. It's always these two. Always these two. Sways my opinion just slightly. There's no time to waste, so he flies directly to his bro's studio. He needs this. He needs his bro to tell him what to do. Whatever issue the guy might have, Dave has always been able to count on Dirk to give him, as Jake might say, the solid dick. Hmm. The solid dick. Okay. Dave. Dave knocks on the door, loud, but there's no answer. Nothing when he calls out Dirk's name either. Then he tries the knob, and the door swings right open. I guess this is where this is. I guess this is where this comes in at. Oh, it's muted. No.
I swear, could this day possibly get any stupider?
You're a meshy. You're a meshy. You're a meshy. Yeah. You're a meshy. Yeah, I feel it. I feel it. I feel the vibes. You're a meshy indeed. You're a meshy. Hey bro, are you there? Still no answer. Dave lets himself in. It's not like his bro would actually mind. They're family after all. Bro! Hey! Silence throughout the studio. Dave starts flitting from room to room. Oh, wow. I've never seen this word. I can assume what it means. What's it? Okay. Okay. Just swiftly, basically. Okay. Flitting from room to room, checking for any signs of Dirk. This is strange. The guy doesn't usually go out to do things, unless those things are actively being televised. Or you think? Okay. Dude, are you like gone? I have something I really need to talk to you about. Dave all but jumps out of his skin with a shriek when he turns to find the last individual in the world he ever expected or wanted to see. Honk. 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 Jesus fuck. Hey, what's shaking my man? Gamzee, what the fuck? God, I think I shit my pants. I'm sorry to hear that, my fine brother. I'm sorry to hear that, my fine brother. Gamzee, what the fuck are you doing here? Did you follow me here? No, man. I've been waiting for you, honk. Oh, you're a mesh. Yo, that's why you're. Oh, that's so much better. Why the fuck are you doing that? Because I'm here to bring you the good news. The news of what? The news of me, my motherfucker. I'm here to help you get all up and redeemed from your wicked sins. Put you on a real arc to salvation? Honk. Oh my fucking god, what fucking sins? Where's Dirk? There's no need to worry about him. You're gonna get what's best for you. He told me that, and I'm gonna make sure his wish makes like a motherfucking miracle and gets true. Honk. Did I just walk into a horror movie? Did my bro get fucking axe murdered by a clown? Jesus Christ. Don't tell me his body is down in the basement right now. You, you, you don't got any need to go and concern yourself with his mortal flesh body out here. In this candy cane whirlpool beyond the infinite black wink of the wicked. Singularity, my ninja. A sack of meat and bones in one life or the next is only a means to the final totality that will damn and raise us all in brilliant apotheosis. Apotheosis. Ooh. In the one true life, we all flow from the one true pen, and every head rolls down the path to the one true hand. What the fuck did any of that mean? Are you drunk? Never mind. I don't give a shit. Out of my way. Peglacy. Peglic? Peglic? Pelicacy? Pelica? This is like. Oh, that just means clown? Interesting. That is a clown too. Hmm. Dave has had enough of this buffoon. He pushes Gamzee aside, and the clown goes absolutely flying into one of Dirk's messy work benches. The vagrant gesture ricochets off disorganized piles of scrap metal and anime paraphernalia like a Tony Hawk jackass clip and flopping into an unending oblivion of pain. The circus ruckus starts a vicious Rube Goldberg machine of cartoon physics, knocking every cinderblock, crusty puppet, and Japanese sword in a tornado's radius off balance, and avalanching them catastrophically onto the hapless clown's torso. Dave gives only a second glance to the ludicrous pandemonium. He blows open the door to the stairwell and heads down, bracing himself for the worst, but he doesn't find Dirk in the basement either. The only thing of note is a slumped figure in the center of the storage room, covered in a thin sheet. Dave approaches and rips it off to discover. Wait, what is this? It's obviously a robot, but it's a complete mess. The form is feminine, but the head is still bald, and the face has no cover, revealing its skull like interior. The body doesn't have any proper protective plating yet, so it's all a mess of wires and loose mechanical bits. Clearly a work in progress, but Dave can't help but wonder what exactly it is Dirk's been working on here. Then Dave notices the note. It's carefully folded in the limp palm of the robot's hand. His heart jumps into his throat, and something in his stomach drops. Oh no. Oh no. Oh. Hmm. What? Hmm. What could the note be? Oh. Well, we go straight to Dirk Strider in this one. Oh, cool. Oh, hopefully, it just tells us exactly what's happening right away. That could be something. But epilogue 3, page 14 of Candy. I guess that was like the shortest page, I feel like. Your name is Dirk Strider. You know what you must do. The decision was made the moment John chose his course. This world has been set on a path that you cannot tread. You just stand beneath the Carapacian bell tower, poised to climb to the top. Is is no. You've brought nothing with you but a long length of rope, coiled in your steady fist. It is the only thing that you need. Ascend. You do not hesitate. Your legs feel impressively powerful as you begin to climb the staircase. 2 steps at a time. There's nothing of consequence but your singular task. You left a note, but you don't expect any of your friends to understand. It's not important that they do. No, 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 no. A flip of the cosmic coin has rendered your entire life completely inessential. What could you accomplish in a dead end existence like this? There are no stakes, no meaningful challenges, no structures or themes, only residual chemical reactions in a dying brain. A physical system's obligate compulsion to exhaust its own lingering momentum. A cockroach with its head cut off, waiting to die of thirst. Halfway up the tower, you take flight. Every second you waste here is a drain on the concept of existence itself. You whip up the hollow vertical shaft at the center of the spiraling stairs and erupt into the air beneath the bell. You land on the ledge overlooking the Carapace Kingdom below and cast a cursory glance across the landscape beneath you. Its beautiful scenery is a comical illusion of no matter to you. Get to work. Ain't no way, my mans. Your hands move methodically to fashion the hangman's noose. Okay. It is a gesture you have practiced well. You bunch a section of rope into an S and loop the end of the rope around its middle. 7 wraps, and you're done. You tie it off at the bottom, then tug the rope taut. The corrosion has already begun. You can feel the gears slowing, all the intricate, unseen mechanisms coming unhinged from their mooring and drifting apart. Your friends might derive some self fulfillment from satisfying the elementary obligations of self preservation and self propagation. But there's nothing here for you. It doesn't matter anymore. There's a beam across the opening of the face of the bell tower that will serve as a convenient anchor for the rope. You toss the noose up over the beam and then rise to fasten the knot. You ensure that it is secure. There can be no mistakes. You touch back down on the ledge of the tower. You bring the noose over your head and pull it tight. Your choice is not between that of life and death. It is between that and ignominious dissolution at the empty hands of entropy, and one final act of relevance that can bequeath your meager energies to the cosmic well from whence you came. In a certain sense, you've never felt so free. Kill yourself. Down. Heroic or just? Does that apply at this point? I guess it wasn't a green sun thing, right? Was it? I think it was just a general paradox space thing. Yeah. Green sun was more the other people. Hmm. You jump. A meaning. I don't know why I read that with the voice of low tier god. I read it with the voice of low tier god in my mind too. But I grew up in fighting games, and you still see him. You still see him online if you're at least in fighting game stuff. God, he's a person. He's a person. A meaning. Oh wait, that's. Oh wait, never mind. A meaningful death would, of course, be quick, brutal, an expeditious descent, a splash of crimson at the base of the bell tower, a body that looks otherwise intact if you don't flip it over to see the dark side, mottled bruises where the fetid septic blood has begun to pool. You made certain that the rope was long enough for your velocity of your fall to immediately decapitate you. It slices through the air with a vicious whipping sound, unspooling in even silk smooth rotations. Just as your epiphany occurred at sunset, your death must occur at sunrise to complete the Ouroboros of symbologic, harmonic resonance that is your personal arc. It is the very last moment of narratively consequential action that will happen in this whole world, this whole barren world. The fear care patients unfortunate enough to have left their homes early in the morning will remember this moment forever. But in reality, it lasts only a second. The noise your cervical spine makes when it sunders in indescribably gruesome is indescribably gruesome. Many of the bystanders who witness your death will later attempt to recount it, but there really are no words that can adequately express the sound someone makes when they die. It's a phenomenon that happens on two levels. First, there is the literal termination of organic processes, which is to say, the destruction of the meat. Then follows the dissolution of the ego. And you have quite the ego to dissolve, one that has flown so high above the forest that not only can it no longer see the trees, it cannot even it cannot even conceive it cannot even conceive of the trees as material substance with objective meaning. Yours is a singularity of narcissism, an endless recursive existence so dense that it has no choice but to sprawl out much further than the boundaries of its person in any given universe or timeline. Once cut off from that, you become unbearably dispensable. From a purely utilitarian perspective, killing yourself is the greatest gift you could give to this dying world. A valorous sacrifice, the likes of which this place will never experience again. If your severed head could speak, it might say, "You're welcome." But even then, maybe it wouldn't. It might not even care to do this shallow realm even that basic courtesy. We may never know. Your severed head remains suspended in the loop of the noose, tight under your jaw, while your limp body bounces off the side of the bell tower and tumbles into the grass. Screams, screams down from below. The horrified Carapacian bison scatter and run. Your body tumbles down the side of the hill, spraying blood from its neck in a volume that makes the foot of the tower look like the scene of a massacre. Your heart keeps your heart keeps beating well after you're dead. It keeps beating until every drop of blood is forced from your corpse, a sea of gore drenching the earth beneath the scene of your demise. Your body doesn't get up, and your head doesn't open its eyes. When you think so little of yourself as a moral character, any act of self termination will result in death that is just. Hmm, interesting, I guess. I guess if we like take what the epilogues say, and if this is like actually true, could this could this recontextualize some things in Homestuck the comic? I wonder. So if you think you deserve to die, then it works. Basically. I think it's a little more than that, but that's essentially what it is. But if we take this as being it, then does recontextualize some stuff in the normal canon, right? The normal Homestuck comic. Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. Okay. I guess I never like thought about any of the characters doing something like this, but I kind of like how they did it with Dirk here. Like this person. I guess it was like I guess with how they did this here. I was I planned on actually talking about like the when they were talking about the intentionality and certain things, how I had my own thoughts on what I think you could do with a cool like two choice story. And I was gonna like reemphasize that that was just my thoughts before I read it, and that's not what I was like thinking would happen. And it's just huh. Well, if this stays true, then Dirk's just dead. How will hmm. I guess we continue on with the epilogue 3 for Candy. Page 15. Oh. Ah. Hmm. The rain is coming down in sheets. It rains just seldom enough on this idyllic world that most of its inhabitants are conditioned to leave their homes without umbrellas. And today they're paying for it. The press clamors at the edges of the funeral procession, getting soaked to the bone and or exoskeleton. John ducks his head away from the flash of cameras, still uncomfortable with his position among the pallbearers. He didn't know Dirk that well, but he couldn't refuse a direct request from a grieving bro. He ventures a glance at Dave, who is at the front of the line carrying a small casket containing Dirk's decapitated head. The actual casket is unusually heavy, not just because Jane insisted on having it crafted from the finest quality timber on the planet, but also because of some unfathomable reason Dirk is going to be buried with every single one of his shitty anime swords. It would be absurd. It would be absurd were it not so tragic, and possibly also predictable. Gamzee fumbles with his corner of the casket when it comes times to set it down in the cathedral, upsets the balance of the whole thing, and sends it careening down so hard that the nose of it crashes right through the stage. Oops, motherfuckers. Oops. It's fine, Gams. Accidents happen. John presses his mouth into a flat line. He looks at Dirk's casket, sitting diagonally in a hole in the floor and popped about 13% of the way open. A few shitty swords seem to have made a valiant effort to escape, but didn't quite make it all the way. He looks at Dave, who appears even more stoic than usual. With his wet hair plastered to his forehead, he looks at Roxy, who is staring at the floor, rather beside herself in grief. Then finally, he looks back to Gamzee, who offers two dubiously sympathetic whoops in response. Today is not the day to push it, he thinks to himself. He forces a smile, kisses Roxy on the cheek, and goes to take his seat in the front row of the pews. At the back of the nave, devastated fans of Rumble in the Pumpkin Patch are trying to force their way inside, past the barrier of reporters. Jane drags Jake off by the wrist to deal with them as Roxy approaches the pulpit, looking miserably ghost-like in her violent mourning clothes. R.I.P. Dirk. This is clearly the worst choice Sean could have made. Instead he should be stuck in Locam. I guess because he survived the Celeborn battle. Hmm. Um. Thanks everyone for joining me today. She folds her hands in front of her. Her earrings light up as the reporters at the back take about 6 million pictures of tear-stained face, of her tear-stained face. She sniffs, then hawks back a whole mouthful of snot. The sound is very much in constant with the delicate, in contrast with the constant. I was writing a lot with us about things, and I was using the word constant and consistency a little too much. Delicate feminine manner with which she tugs a tissue out of her modest cleavage in order to dab at her eyes. Wow. Now that I'm up here, it's like, I don't know. I have no idea what to say. Of course she doesn't. Dirk was her first BFF, her first love, and at one time, the only other human being left on Earth. She rolls the wet tissue between her fingers. And I guess that's 'cause there's nothing to say. There's no words to describe how I felt about Dirk Strider, and even though he left a note that had a hella words in it, they might as well have been saying nothing. Which is just like Dirk, I guess, to leave us with a load of bullshit and no idea why he did what he did. So I'm just gonna say that. I'm glad that he was in my life and give it over to someone who was way more eloquent, who's way more eloquent than me. Dave gets to his feet, unwinding his fingers from Jade's. He walks to the pulpit with his usual smoothness, but pauses beneath the giant stained glass window to run the heel of his palm under his shades. The camera bulbs start clacking away like crazy. John whirls around in his seat to glare at the reporters, putting his finger to his mouth to shush them. He watches a tiny, white carapaced chest guy sheepishly press the flash button on his camera as quietly as possible. Damn. Some nervy reporters. These are literally the gods. Damn. It takes Dave a moment to gather himself when he reaches the lectern. But when he speaks, his voice is steady and even. You're a meshy. Hey guys, want to apologize in advance because this is about to get a little real. Realer than that 3/4 of a corpse I'm standing about 2 feet away, 2 feet from right now. I mean, I totally hate to ruin everyone's mood on a day where we've gathered to think deep thoughts about how one of us just went and fucking off themselves. Not like we're gonna be stumbling through our lives constantly experiencing intrusive thoughts about this specific event or anything. Hey, remember what our good pal Dirk looked like with no head? Hard to forget since getting decapitated was like his third favorite hobby. So it's not so much the body that's the problem, but sort of existential realization of finality, I guess. Though I ain't gonna lie, the body's starting to stink. Sorry, all that shit I just said was a load of absolute bull. To deflect from the fact that I'm pretty shook about this. I used to do that a lot. I like basically every time I opened my mouth. Most of you, oh, this water bottle I have next to me keeps making weird noises. Where was I at? Oh, most of you know this, but I had a kind of shitty childhood. Not gonna go in details, but long story short, it was technically my good old bro dad here's fault. Not this specific version of him. The one I grew up with was, Uh, he was. Dave hesitates. His voice might be crackling, but it's subtle. He was an absolute bastard, no offense to the dead. Yeah. Okay, sure, he taught me a ton of shit that, if we're being generous, was in theory useful. But he didn't give a single solitary shit about raising a well adjusted kid. Or raising a kid in general. I was more like his discipline, and all that mattered was his grand design, or WTF ever. And I know Dirk struggled with, you know, the idea that he could eventually become that kind of person, or even worse, that he was somehow cosmically fated to become that person no matter what he wanted or did to prevent it. That's probably how he managed to off himself in the first place, considering how the mechanics of God tier works. Maybe he'd been struggling with that the whole time we've been here on Earth C. Who knows with him? He was always so inside his own head. I can't even imagine what insane train of thought led him to decide that this was his only option. But I don't. You're a meshy, but I don't think he'd want us beating ourselves up about it. Or torturing ourselves trying to figure out what it fucking meant. Especially Jake, Jane, and Roxy. He loved you guys and wouldn't do anything to hurt you. Well, not intentionally, I mean. Anyway, all that shit about my bro, I'm over that. Like, as much as you can get over it, there's a subconscious response to certain stimuli you can't exactly rewire. But the no, 7, 6, 7. Sorry. Uh, you're a meshy, but the conscious part of my brain is all like, shit, dude. I feel great. WTF is hypervigilance? I love being alive and having all these friends who care about me and don't beat the shit out of me every day of my life, etc. And part of that's because I got to be friends with Dirk. It was great getting to know this rad version of my childhood guardian who wasn't completely batshit insane. And like, just chill with him. Shoot this shit and freestyle or debate dumb crap without it being a federal fucking issue. And more than that, he treated me like I was on the level with him. He let me give him shit for being a pretentious blowhard every day of his life, which I did. But despite that, I looked up to him the way I always felt like I should have been looking up to my bro. The way I wanted to look up to my bro but couldn't. Dirk taught me so much shit I didn't know I needed from him. I mean, picking up Dirk's opinions was unavoidable if you ever hung out with him, considering he never shut his fucking mouth. But I'm glad he didn't. He taught me about combat, philosophy, life. And I'm sure, had he not killed himself the literal day I was finally gonna ask him romantic advice, he would have taught me about love too. So in the end, I really got no idea how the fuck I'm supposed to feel right now. That's probably okay, right? It's like it's okay to not know how to feel when someone dies. It's okay to not have all the answers. I wish Dirk were still alive so I could tell him that, but he's not. So, damn, he got YouTubed. Dave takes a deep, shuddering breath and actually takes off his shades to wipe away the tears that are pooling in his eyelashes. Uh, I guess that's all I got to say about that. Jake is openly weeping by the time the speech is over, his face buried in Jane's breast. Mm. She's remarkably composed, looking more irritated than anything that her gentleman companion is getting snot all over her attractively tailored power suit. Dave leaves the stage, face turned away from the glare of the camera lights, and Roxy takes her place at the pulpit once again. Oh fuck, you missed so much. Yeah, Dirk killed himself. And we're at his funeral. Oh, I guess not his funeral. But yeah. Anyone else have a eulogy they'd like to give? I think the best way we can honor Dirk's memory at this point is to spew an untold number of words into the void. As many as we fucking can. Rose, who had been staring off into space with a particular expression on her face during Dave's speech, snaps to attention. She brushes Kanaya's hand off her lap and goes to stand, but is interrupted by the horrible, squelching sound of Gamzee lumbering to his feet in his wet, oversized boots. He saunters up to the pulpit with the precise. Oh, ah. With the precise, lazy gait of one who's grown far too comfortable with a lifelong tendency of unwittingly inspiring others' contempt, and braces his arms on either side of the lecture. If inside this church there were an adjacent room full of wet dog eating garbage, everyone intends would run to that room immediately to escape the stench emanating from this smiling clown. Suddenly, his expression distorts to become something which can only be described as leer. Uh, what's What's up on this most righteous and frowny of days, my bitches? Oh my god, no one wants to hear anything you have to say, Gamzee. Ha 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 ha. You still got it, brother. My motherfucker of comedies in the prey block. That mirthful noise you holler still slaps my mang. It's not a fucking joke. Gamzee clears his throat quite loudly and abruptly, sending ear-shattering echoes throughout the church. It sounds like someone just threw a toilet in a wood chipper. Ninjas and gentle hoes. Gentle hoes. We gather up at this shrine of worship to whatever false idols or messiahs these homies give their devotions on for. But that's okay, because we're motherfucking unified today, no matter what our bad and different beliefs say at us to our piety pans. Piety pan? We come in celebration of the life and death, and the one and only, a truly choice piece of man bitch, what whom I hardly ever knew, the darkest stir. Boo! Get off the stage. Then, then you might be up and wondering, what place have I got all orating on the subject of the legend of this fine fellow? That's a good question, my mirthful brothers. I may not be all up and learned about his life, but I've got deep spiritual connections to his death. I would assume this church is a church to you guys. I don't know what else they would worship here. Maybe orators. They worship Jane Crocker like I do, and Vriska. Yes, yes. I may not. Oh wait. It just so happens that fate brought me to his doorstep on the very day that he went and motherfucking choked it off at the neck. One of the most spiritually awakening moments in my life. In such a short time, he taught me so much. This was no coincidence. It was a higher power guiding my path. These powers made sure that I would be there to receive a great warrior's final message. And really, it to you on this dark and dreary day of death. Honk. The clown thrusts his hand somewhere beneath the waistband of his pants and starts obscenely rooting around. He retrieves a piece of paper, crumpled and soaked from the rain outside, and attempts to smooth it out over the lectern. The wet paper breaks apart immediately beneath his oafish clown paws. Ah shit. Ah shiz. I guess I've got to up and wing it. God, Gamzee is the worst. Maybe. Dirk's friend. He's like top 10 worst Homestuck characters. In pure like mm, like being like actually like terrible people, probably top. Probably just top. No, Briscoe's probably the worst person. Hmm. I'll think about that. Dirk's close friends in the audience look on with anxious anticipation, eager to hear whatever important message Dirk had apparently handed to Gamzee to be passed on. John can't seem to find that optimism himself. Gamzee draws a big fat breath and begins his speech. You ever wake up and sit down to drop a fat one in the load gaper, but your flesh body just ain't ready to go and duke it out yet? The clown's words hang heavily in the air. He scans the crowd, silent for an uncomfortable while, as if his question weren't rhetorical and he were expecting an answer that will never come. You love Gamzee so hard, and he smells so bad. That's what life was like for the deep man, a man born with a purpose, a plan. But the wicked ways of this world stole that away from him. It goes on like this for some time. Members of the audience ride out the clown's eulogy with an admirable sense of grit and determination, though visibly reacting with full body spasms every time the preacher issues another punctuating honk or deeply inappropriate turn of phrase. Carcat continues heckling him all throughout, and at one point delivers no less than 30 uninterrupted instances of the phrase, fuck you, throughout most of the eulogy. Roxy continues attempting to urge others to settle down and give him a chance, based on so many endorsements she's heard of his spiritual oration skills. But even she gives up on this effort when one especially boisterous honk results in Gamzee knocking over the lecture entirely, which he does not bother to pick up. Instead, he proceeds with his eulogy as if nothing happened, while openly scratching an itch beneath his codpiece. At this point, oh God, Gams. At this point, Dave has had enough and exits the church. Carcat follows him. Gamzee inhales deeply, preparing to launch into what quite possibly will be the full body of his speech, rather than one or two mercifully concluding remarks. Roxy stands up and begins clapping loudly to bring a heroic end to the illocutionary horse show. Vriska at least has personality and appeal. Gamzee is just a roach. Gamzee has an appeal in Homestuck. There is an appeal there. Uh, wow. 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 Wasn't that great, folks? Wow. Just wow. I knew this guy wouldn't let us down. Bravo. Damn, I feel like if I never heard another word this guy ever said, that'd be fine because that was all just so perfect. Anything more would only dampen his perfect memory he gave us. Take a bow, Gamzee, and then, yeah. Oh yeah, then exit that way. The exit's that way. Honk. She nudges Jake. Hey, dude. Hey, dude. Can you get up there and say something like a palate cleanser? Gulp. Ugh. It was your best bro. Come on, man. Surely you got something in your heart to say. Oh, okay. Hey, everybody. It's Jake's turn. He's got a few words he'd like to say about our dear departed buddy. Oh, for fuck's sake. God. I think it's just too funny he's wearing his shitty God tier fit. Uh, John mutters a few imprecations under his breath and gets up before Jake can take the stage. He's concerned about Dave's. Actually, wait. Give me one moment. I'll be right back. I'm back. Oh my gosh. Hi. Hi, I'm back. Hello, hello, hello. John mutters a few. Oh, I guess I should just go down where I was. Beating. Oh, he's concerned about Dave and heads for the exit, beating Gamzee there easily. Gamzee strolling so leisurely, in fact. He's barely even made it off the stage yet. John pushes out into the churchyard. The rain has receded into a light drizzle, which is nice. Much less like being trapped in a high pressure shower and more like being sprayed with a plant mister. He looks around the largely decorative graveyard and spots Dave and Karkat huddled together beneath an eave of the churchyard walls. John begins to move towards them but stops when he notices how close together they're standing. Dave's got his suit jacket unbuttoned and pulled over Karkat's head to shield him from the rain. Karkat's the one talking, his caterpillar eyebrows furrowed, but his gaze soft. Whatever he's saying makes Dave turn his face away. But Karkat wins a hand in his shirt and tugs him in, forces him to make eye contact. They both go still, seeming to finally realize how close their faces have gotten, how Karkat's fingers are brushing down the length of Dave's torso. Dave dips down so that their noses are bumping. Karkat's eyes are so wide it's amazing they don't pop out. For a moment, it looks like they're going to. John sneezes. Dave and Karkat jump apart like opposing magnets. Oops. Damn, John.
Uh, Hi guys.
John waves dopily as hopes that he doesn't look buffoonish and mortified as he feels. Dave and Karkat are still staring at each other from the corners of their eyes warily. Something silent and tense passes between them. They make a quick recovery. Hey! I see that even you couldn't bear Gabsy's asinine, brutal, and 100% non-consensual assault on your listened creators. And also, the basic decency which sapient beings apparently owe to one another on this planet.
No, actually I listened to the entire thing. I have no idea why I did that. Now I have this whole memory in my head that I couldn't have definitely lived without. I was just worried because he didn't come back. Dave, are you okay?
Dave glances at Karkat again. He smiles. It's a sad smile, but it's there. Yeah, well, no, but it's okay to not. But it's okay to not be okay about this specific thing, I think. So for once, I think I'm having like a totally unironically normal emotional reaction to a thing, which loops around back to being okay. In fact, I'm probs the okayest I've ever been objectively.
Are you sure?
That was half 100 words to express a three-letter sentiment. I'd say he's doing fine.
Huh. Because I was thinking.
John chews the inside of his mouth and blinks down at his hand. Now that he's paused to think a little, what he's about to offer is a pretty weird way to console a friend after the death of a loved one.
Do you want me to go back?
Dave quirks an eyebrow. Go back?
With my retcon powers? I can go back and stop him.
Dude. Dave says at the same time that Karkat shouts, John!
What?
Do you not have an inch of goddamn sense in that thick fucking skull of yours?
What?
You're a meshy John. Come on, what are my powers?
Time travel?
So, you don't think I would have already done that if I thought it was a good idea?
Well, okay, yeah. Obviously. But if you did do it, wouldn't we wouldn't even know right now because it would have just made a new timeline where Dirk didn't kill himself. That's how time travel works, right?
Yeah. Well, actually, Dave makes a wavy hand gesture that implies he's about to jump into a rant about causality or whatever. John cuts him off.
But if I retcon it, then it's like it never even happened. We wouldn't have this horrible funeral at all.
I don't know. Dude, it's a little fucked up, actually.
You think so?
Yeah, Dirk was a complicated guy. Dude obviously had reasons for doing what he did. If you go back and just rewrite his decision, that's like denying him his personal autonomy.
Huh? I didn't think about it that way.
John frowns. Dave opens his mouth to say something else. But he's cut off by Jade poking her head out of the church window. Dave! Dave! Roxy's wondering where you are. Oh yeah. You're a meshy. Oh yeah, be right there. What about you, Carcats? Are you coming? Yes. God. Can a man stand on a moist and dreary piece of religious property to help console his main bro? Jesus fuck. God forbid we upset the carefully orchestrated funeral programming which just featured a segment wherein a deeply unpopular clown pissed himself in front of the clamoring paparazzi. Oh, Lord. You dumb baby. Carcat, it looks to me like you're the 1/3 wheeling Dave and John's poignant bro times. So why don't you get your butt on over here? Fine. Carcat stomps back towards the church, bickering with Jade, his way across the graveyard. Dave adjusts his shades and puts a hand on John's shoulder. John, you're a meshy, John. I get what you were trying to do, but it's okay, dude. I'm okay. John nods, swallowing hard. His throat is dry all of a sudden. Dave turns and walks back into the church. Once John is absolutely sure Dave is gone, he closes his eyes, breathes in deep through the nose and raises both hands. Nothing happens. John cracks one eye open. It's been a while since he's tried to do anything more complicated than going out for dinner, to be honest. Has he just forgotten how to invoke his game powers? Do the windy thing? He thinks to himself. A brisk breeze hollows through the graveyard, rustling some leaves off a nearby tree. Nope, that's all good. Do the retcon thing? He thinks much harder than he thought about doing the last thing. Still nothing.
That's weird. It was working just the other day.
He stares at his hands so hard that his head starts to hurt. So hard that he doesn't hear the footsteps sloshing through the wet grass behind him. When Roxy taps him on the shoulder, he yelps and shoots 6 feet up in the air. John, you don't get to retcon anymore. Let me. Oh, John, it's just me. John spins. John spins around to greet her. He hides his hand behind his back like he was doing something bad with them, which he guesses he was kind of. Roxy shields her eyes against the rain and laughs. Doing okay there, B.
I'm fine. Wait, me?
John lands softly, close enough to Roxy that she can slide a hand up his arm. Yeah, like short for babe, because you're my babe, B.
Oh, haha, right.
John feels himself flush and runs an awkward hand through his hair. He's still a little embarrassed to show affection in public places like this. He slips a hand into the small of Roxy's back and feels a pang of guilt about what he saw transpire between Dave and Carcat earlier. Is Dave okay?
Yeah, I guess. Are you okay?
Yeah. Yeah. Her gaze gets distanced as she stares at something over John's shoulder. Whatever she's thinking about, it tugs a soft smile across her face. Yeah, actually, I'm more than okay, because I've been thinking.
Oh?
Roxy starts dancing her fingers up John's chest. About you and me and this. She bops him on the nose. Hey, John, we should get hitched.
Um,
John stares at where Roxy's fingers were. John stares where Roxy's fingers still pressing down on his nose and goes a little cross-eyed as his brain tries to process what she just said.
um, what?
What? John, come on. Marry me.
Like,
John looks around the graveyard nervously.
right now?
LMAO totes. We're already at the church and everything.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
John.
Oh my god. Are you serious?
Roxy starts laughing so hard she has to wipe away a tear. She leans in to give John a quick, chaste kiss on the lips. Now, LOL. John, you take everything so literally. It's fucking adorbs.
Is that why you want to marry me?
Yeah, I'm off the charts with all my jokes and shit, and I gotta even all that out with this like huge helping of clueless nerd.
Roxy?
Okay, let's be serious here. But okay, let's be serious here. Moment. I actually do love that you're so earnest. It's cute as fucking. Also, I also know where I stand with you.
Roxy?
Sides this whole thing with Dirk, it's made me realize that even though we're immortal, we're not necessarily gonna live forever. Life's too short not to spend every moment with the one you love. That word hits John like a sucker punch to the gut. He goes breathless with shock, adrenaline pumping through him, his blood rushing in his ears. When he speaks, his voice is hoarse.
You love me?
Yeah, John, I love you. Want to marry you and spend the rest of my life with you and pop out a bunch of cute little bucktooth babies with you. You know, I didn't think of like if a god tier has a kid, the kid's not a god tier, right? I guess that's what I would assume. Damn, it's kind of sad if that's the case. Then I can outlive every kid, I guess. Damn. Damn, you'd be like with your great 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 granddaughter, and they're fucking like, well, no, I guess they'd be old and wrinkly. I guess I don't. I guess they don't get old and wrinkly, right? They do age. They age like a certain point and just stop aging. That what happens with the god tiers, I guess. That's probably explained. Hmm. Hmm.
Oh, wow, Roxy, that's a lot.
Well, you don't gotta answer right now. Just let me know. It's on the table.
I,
He doesn't know what to think. He so doesn't know what to think that he's spiraling inside his head, shaking all over, damp with sweat. Something about this doesn't feel right. Just a few weeks ago, Roxy was happy with Calliope, and now she wants to have his babies? John feels like he's missing something important here. Like he went for a bathroom break during the part of the movie where the plot twist happens. He should give Roxy some time, get himself some space. It's all happening so fast that it's suffocating. Candy has been getting more and more ass. Before I get excited for me. Lol. That's okay. Okay, that's a take. I don't know if I fully agree with that take. On the other hand, isn't that how love's supposed to feel? Like a quick plunge into cold water, a feeling that grows unexamined and then gets so big that the realization washes over you like a wave. Roxy's unbearably beautiful, with moisture clinging to her eyelashes and a smile that she's only smiling because of how much she likes him. She likes him so much that she wants to be around him every single day. John's stomach John's stomach feels like it's doing pirates. His hands come up around Roxy's shoulders and keep going until he's cupping her face in both hands. He starts giggling.
I, okay, okay, let's do it.
Roxy waggles her eyebrows. Oh, you want to do it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that too. But I meant about getting, about the getting married thing. Let's do that. Let's totally get married.
Roxy practically attacks John's mouth. She's so excited. John shuts his eyes and kisses her back, still giddy and laughing against her lips. She kisses him until they're both breathless, then pulls back so that she can gaze at him with glittering eyes. OMG, we're gonna be so freaking happy. I enjoy Candy from a certain perspective, which you can't really talk about yet. Bop. Epilogue 4. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. Epilogue 4. Candy, page 6.
Hey, Terezi, guess where I am right now?
Your, your, hmm, your human wedding.
Considering that humans are the only species on Earth seeing with the concept of weddings, technically all weddings are human weddings. So there's really no reason to qualify it like that, Terezi.
When did you get so hung up on hmm, hmm. When did you get so hung up on semantics? Hmm. When,
When I became a real adult. Speaking of which, no, I'm not at my human wedding. That was months ago.
What?
You forgot? I thought you said you'd try to make it back in time for it.
John, I talked to you yesterday. John, I talked to you yesterday. I enjoy candy when it's in my mouth mostly.
Wow. I knew time moved differently out there than it does here, but that's really something else. It's been almost 6 months for me. Huh? Okay, well, in that case, I guess I can forgive you for missing my wedding.
You can do that if you want, but I never actually asked for your forgiveness. And I have no intention of apologizing.
Phew. It's not me you need to apologize to. Everyone really wanted to see you. Kanaya, Dave, Carcat. Oh shit, where's that? Oh, and Carcat all have asked about you like a zillion times.
Really? A zillion times. there's like no cultural overlaps. Do care pieces not have weddings? Do trolls have some scenario where the quadrants, quadrants formalize? Uh, Probably not. And then, and if that actually did happen, it would no, I guess that wouldn't make too much sense. But then other things from a do the trolls know what happens in like adult troll customs, or is that just stuff they don't know about? Hmm.
Okay, I'm obviously exaggerating for effect, but they've asked a lot. Carcat says you've been ignoring his messages for literal years at this point. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, why am I the only one you ever answer? I mean, we weren't even that close, were we? Not like you were with him.
There's been there's been troll humans and Caribbeans on the planet for like 3,000 years. I guess. Hmm. Hmm. Don't don't overthink it, Edberg. You were just the most annoying one about being ghosted. Far too annoying to ignore.
Thanks, Charlie. I'll have I'll have that one to put on my tombstone.
Yes, please do. Immortalize my peerless, brutal dunkings. I get the impression that everyone is going the way too easy on you in my absence.
Oh yeah, it's seriously horrible. I'm suffering under all the positive attention from my caring friends.
So, how was your default culture pair mating event? I've given the cultures, there's just 4 different cultures.
My wedding, can I guess? Really good actually. You should have seen Roxy. She was so beautiful in her dress. I mean, there were some awkward patches, but it was mostly okay.
Awkward patches, like what? Was Gamzee there?
Er, yeah, but he wasn't that bad for once. He mostly just hung out by the punch and tried to touch Jake's ass. Jake. Oh god. Okay, see, the worst part was when Roxy had to throw the bouquet, right? Jade and Jake are kinda together now?
Oh, God.
And she basically ordered Jake to catch the bouquet, or else. I was seriously afraid for him. And then he didn't even catch it.
Oh, oh, damn. Wait, why didn't she want it so bad? Is it animal?
Whoever catches the bouquet is the next couple to get married.
Huh? Is that the law in human culture?
No. There's no law.
Then what sort of binding contract exists surrounding the bouquet to make it so desirable?
None. It's just a thing humans do for fun.
So it's a superstition?
I'd call it more of a tradition. Although, in the case of Jade and Jake, superstition might be the more appropriate word.
This story has a lot of extraneous details. You're really bad at gossiping. Do you know that, John? Get to the juicy bits. Who caught the bouquet?
Well, it was Jade. Jade, Dave, and Carcat.
All 3 of them? Does that mean
Yeah, they're all dating. Or rather, Jade is dating both?
dating them both? I like that wording. I like that wording.
Dave and Carcat haven't exactly figured things out yet. Much as I love Jade, I don't actually think she helped matters by putting herself in the middle of it.
Somehow that doesn't seem right. J. Dave Cat for real, even though Karka doesn't like the situation really. Like, I mean, according to John, at this point in time, it's not J. It's not J. Dave Cat. It's J. Dave, Jade Cat, and then Dave and Carcat. Just it's not figured out yet, I guess. So I guess there's like a few ways to do this one, right? And even in I guess even in like candy, you can make it be like like Jade is actually like they're actually just like a nice like 3 people couple, right? Couple's the wrong term. Like polyamorous thing, right? Or you can have it that Jade's like some poor some poor fucked up gal who's in like the who's an intermediary for Dave and Carcat who just like are in this weird situation, and Jade is just like, man, fuck it. And these guys just are just a mess. They're just a mess. In theory, I guess Jade could like what's the term? What's the term? I don't know. I can't think of the term I want to say. Profiting off of this, off of this thing. Uh, hmm. Okay. Oh,
I know. And that's why it seems so messed up that Jade cut the bouquet. Now I have to pretend to laugh and think it's funny when she makes jokes about being the next to tie the knot.
wow. Did she really go for that double entendre?
What?
What?
What do you mean?
Never, never mind. Anyway, sounds like a tough life, Egbert. Ha 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 ha.
Har har. Okay, you're right. Things are pretty good right now if that's the worst thing I have to complain about. Things will probably work out with those three anyway. Things always work out between old friends. We've all known each other for too long for anything to cause permanent rift.
Damn. Damn, John. Damn, John. Furry joke. Furry Jade count one. Uh. Uh. Oh. Uh. Okay. I was gonna say this was related to the furry thing real quick, but I asked someone because I'm not educated at all in this topic. Um. At all is the Omegaverse inherently a furry thing or not? I talked to like someone about this. They said no, and this other person said no too. And so I know nothing of the Omegaverse really. I've like had one conversation with somebody and they told me I didn't want to look it up. Didn't want that on my like my internet anything. I don't want that on my feed. But I follow this one creator who apparently was really big into that and they like make references to it. And I have no idea what anything means on that. But this convention I'm going to in not this weekend, but the following weekend, well, is going to have a panel on just what the Omegaverse is, and I'm tempted to go there to educate myself with someone who feels confident enough to explain what it is. And I don't know if this is going to be a terrible, terrible choice, or if this is gonna enlighten me in the ways of certain things. Omegaverse is not furry. Yeah. Okay, so it's not furry. Yeah, that's why I said it wasn't that relevant, right? But it's just go to it, get it explained because it will be relevant later. uh I only know like I know 3 people who grew up on Tumblr, and like 2 of them I talked. I guess I talked to all of them kinda. What do you mean Omegaverse is relevant? Omegaverse appears more in yaoi fanfic than furry. Yeah, but that's because the mpreg part in the Omegaverse. That's all I know. I guess that's the one other thing I know. I wasn't really fully explaining what that is, how that happens, but it's a major part of Omegaverse is mpreg, I guess. Uh, I don't know. Funny enough, the Omegaverse is actually for real relevant. Okay. So I've been seeing it just a little bit more on my thing. Y'all remember to be careful with what you're saying. Uh oh. Okay. Enough of the Omegaverse tangent. Enough of the Omegaverse. I need that off my mind for a moment. Where was I at? Where was I at? Saying that as a joke. Is it actually? Har. Old friends. Yeah, John, that is damn 23. 23. Wait, Scott? How? Wait, isn't Scott Pilgrim 23 in like the beginning of the comics? I guess he's probably like 24 by now or 26, maybe. 24, 25. Scott Pilgrim's like 20. I want to say he's 23 in Scott Pilgrim and like the beginning of the comic. Where, I don't want to go to the other. I don't want to go to the other room to grab my Scott Pilgrim comic. Page start. 23. Yeah, wait. And then oh, then Poon Poon the guy's 22. Poon Poon's 22 at the end of Poon Poon. Okay. Yeah. 23 that 23 age is just like such an age around that time. At least in media and in my own life. So, if you're not at your human wedding right now, where are you?
Huh?
Oh my god. Are you serious? You have the memory of a cuttlefish. You open this conversation by asking me to guess where you are right now.
Oh, I'm at the hospital.
Oh, are you bleeding?
What the hell, Terezi? No, I'm not bleeding.
Are they having a kid? Is that what they're doing? Is that what's going on right now?
Oh,
Eh, that's unfortunate. In that case, are you okay?
yeah. Actually, I'm more than okay. I'm great. I'm not. I'm not here for me. It's for Roxy. She's pregnant.
Oh, yeah, they're having a kid. Pregnant?
It means that we're going to have a baby.
I know what pregnant means, John. It just seems kind of fast.
Well, it's what happens when people get married.
Are humans not capable of having sex unless they enter a contractual arrangement?
God damn it, Terezi.
Well, aren't they?
Of course they are, but marriage is what makes it special. What?
Oh, nothing. You're just so.
Let me guess. So dumb. Blah, blah.
Well, that too. But I was actually going to say adorable.
What?
I have to get going. It's not safe where I am. Go see. Go see to your mate's sprit, John. I'll see you later.
Yeah, okay. Take care of yourself, Terezi.
I always do. Damn, it's gonna be some what's that called? I forget what that's called. Like I can't remember the movie reference that was gonna make. I'm losing my movie culture. My movie cred's going down.
Hey, Terezi, I have something to tell you, and you're not gonna believe it.
I already heard about how Jane is dating both Jake and Gamzee, and unfortunately, I do believe it. I definitely could have lived without seeing the visual evidence, however. Damn. Damn. I'm with Terezi on this one, except for a good thing I don't get to see the visible evidence. Ah.
No, Wait, how do you know about that?
I lied about you being more annoying than Karkat. Karkat is still the most astonishing, annoying person I know.
Oh, so you talked to him?
And Dave, just for a bit, this was an incredibly hot piece of gossip, and I couldn't trust you to deliver it with the air of gravitas it deserved. Fucking John cannot spill the fucking tea, man. Damn. Ah, damn. I was damn. This is I guess is this like is it supposed to tell me that John's the most nah, nah. That's not fun. John Terezi is still viable if you and I think Rocks would be fine with quadrants.
That's probably true. The whole Jade, Gabby thing is freaking me out. Actually. I mean, they're technically my parents, and a version of Jade was literally my nana. And now she's having sex with Gamzee. Never mind. I don't even want to think about it.
Haha. I hope you haven't seen the picture Dave took. Why Dave take a picture? Damn. Damn. They did my girl Jane dirty. Fuck. They really did.
Dave has a picture? Wait, never mind. I don't want to know. I definitely don't want to see it.
Very well. You're a loss. It certainly is something to behold, though, I must say.
Whatever. So, what did you think talking to David Carcat? Did they seem happy?
Nope.
Oh my god. I know, right? The whole thing is such a mess. It's hard to be in the same room with them these days. I don't even know the full story because Dave won't talk to me about it anymore. And Jane seems to think everything's going just fine.
Damn. Like I guess that's how we know that Jade and Jade and John from the same Gib? What's the term? I don't know. Carcan had some choice words to say about Jade's lackluster blackroom conduct. Oh, so it's straight up just she's trying to be that, huh? Uh damn. Damn. I can be with Terezi or Vriska pretty much anything goes with him when it comes to human relationships. John John's just a mess.
So, he doesn't think the situation is great either.
No, Jane is definitely not in hate with him, and it shows.
Yeah, Jane doesn't exactly have a whole lot of hate inside her. In fact, it's probably the opposite.
Fucking damn that guy in Hive Swap Act 3. What the fuck's that guy's name? Darian? The guy I chose to kill. Damn.
I think she was alone for so long that it's like she stored up this huge reservoir of love and she has no idea how to put a dam on it. I think she means well, and in most ways she's really smart, but socially speaking, I think she might be kind of an idiot.
That's a lot coming from John. Holy wow. That's putting it lightly.
How does Karkat feel?
He's not Caligenus for either. If I had to give my assessment of what's grown between them from my brief observations of the situation, I describe it as resentment.
Oh no.
Resentment can be found in short-term black affair if the goal is just to feel pale and avoid culling. But in a sustained romantic rivalry, it will always spell ruin. Just like in a Caligenus relationship, how it's important for you to be able to communicate with your kismises.
Really?
Of course, a true kismisis is just as much your life partner as your mate spirit is.
Huh. I had no idea. Not to be culturally insensitive, but I thought it was just like you'd meet up every once in a while and to do like hate makeouts.
John, you are being extremely culturally insensitive.
Sorry.
You can't just say not to be something and then go ahead and be exactly that. It is automatically problematic.
I'm just asking questions,
Xenophobic questions, it would seem.
man. Not to you, not you too.
To what?
Putting on all that's xenophobic all the time, but in a way where you probably don't even mean it.
I mean, Jay did grew up away from any society. She had the internet. Poor gal. Fuck. Don't even mean it. Why wouldn't I mean it? Is cultural sensitivity why wouldn't I mean it? Is cultural sensitivity a joke to you?
Er, I am just. All I'm getting at is, you've been talking to Dave a lot, haven't you?
I keep my correspondence with Strider well within reasonable parameters, just like I do with you. To be honest, much less than you. Who even has a time for the nonsense of cool kids these days?
Time. You've got nothing but time, apparently, flying around out there for God knows how much longer. Why don't you just give it a rest already and come back?
I can't rest while the mission remains incomplete. You know this.
Seriously, it's beautiful back here on Earth, see Terezi. So peaceful and harmonious. You should come back and check it out sometime.
I'll pass. Anyway, as I was saying, just like with the human romantic relationship, there's are all kinds of vicissitudes.
Oh, wow. You've changed the subject back so fast. I think
Ooh.
I got whiplash.
Yes, some kismesis relationships are of the nature you describe, but not all of them. The point of a kismesis is not to just make you annoyed or even angry. They should push you to be better yourself. They should shine a light on things about yourself you would otherwise ignore or deny.
Huh? Is that why?
Wait, why what?
Is that why you're so determined to find her? It is, isn't it?
No, Briska and I were I can't explain it. It's not as simple as you're making it out to be.
All right.
Besides, things between us were always so
Weird.
dramatic. And I think I've cosmically had my fill of dramatic black relationships for a long time. If I were ever to do a black drum again, it would have to be low key. You know, gentle teasing, vaguely antagonistic feelings jams. Someone who I could both torment and have an honest conversation with.
When you put it that way, I guess maybe it doesn't sound so bad.
Thank you for your cultural sensitivity. I have high hopes for you, Egbert. One day, I hope to be able to introduce you to friends and say, "This is John. He's not xenophobic."
Oh yeah, well, one day I hope to introduce you to people and say, "Hi, this is Tereji. She doesn't suck shit."
That was a fun conversation. Hmm. Oh. 3 months later, page 17 of Candy. More Christmas explained because people keep misinterpreting it. Yeah. Uh. See, look the kind of relationship Terezi just described. Uh, I don't know. It's really been like we're fine to kind of like a cool little spot what it is now from like what it is from the Ostratis one still seems like that, that, that's the one that seems kind of just like is that that one can almost not exist in a way, right? Hmm. In theory, right? That one doesn't have to exist. Huh. Hmm. I have to look back on that one actually. Hmm. Page 17 of Candy. 3 months later, John is still thinking about his last conversation with Terezi. It's kind of impossible not to. When Rose and Kanaya keep saying the name Vriska every 5 minutes. Oh, they got the little one then, huh? He really thought they were done with hearing about Vriska all the time, but apparently Rose and Kanaya were intent on breathing new life into that tradition. Those lady of breakup problematic ships, like your Moral hates your mate spirit. Yeah. Hmm, Vriska, don't chew on your chair's dinner table. Darling, she is only a grub. She hasn't grown her oral canals. Yes, I believe strongly that we should get in the habit of speaking to her like an adult. It will be good for her social development. Um, Earl's a real one for this one. No, it's is that how your mother raised you? I would have loved it if my mother spoke more frankly with me, but she was, let's just say, a rather awkward person. No offense, Roxy. LMAO, none taken. I can't even imagine all the ways I'd fuck up a kid in a timeline where I didn't sort out my drinking. To be ain't. Oh, you weren't awful. I just have, how do I always put it, dear? A penchant for melodrama. Melodrama. Well, yeah, your dad made sure he got some of himself in you. I suppose he did. And everyone in the room observes a moment of silence for their dear, departed friend, Dirk Schreider, except for John, who takes advantage of the solemn distraction to anxiously tap his phone. He'd sent Terezi a text an hour ago, when Roxy was fixing her makeup in her compact. He's not sure why he feels the need to hide the fact that he's talking to her. It's not like there's anything untoward, untoward about what he's doing. Just texting an old friend. What's wrong with that? Nothing at all, he thinks, as he closely monitors his silent, praying wife, ready to stash the phone in his pocket the moment she shows the slightest sign of movement. She lifts her head to speak. He's like Houdini with that phone. Oh my god. Whoa. Whoa, I was just talking about where's the references to him being an amateur magician. Oh my god, it's right here. It's in the epilogues, Candy, page 17. There we go. No. Uh Damn. I still can't believe Dirk's gone though. Yes, it was so sudden. But the best we can do to honor him is simply to move on with our lives. I'm sure it's what he would have wanted.
Huh?
John shoots Rose a weird look. She smiles benignly, then goes to collect her troll daughter from the booster seat. She holds baby Vriska close to her chest and leans over to give Kanaya a kiss on the cheek. The precious grub is framed between them, and I wonder if they like swaddle a grub. I wonder. And the two wives are ringed in a halo of pale light at the peak of this magical moment. It should be a beautiful image, but something about it roils John's guts. Rose sits back down, cradles Vriska in one arm, and begins to unbutton the top of her shirt with the other. John instinctively finds something else to look at. Anything his fidgeting hands will do. Rose sits back down, cradles Vriska in one arm, begins to unbutton the top of her shirt with the other. I guess it makes sense. I guess. I was thinking. Huh. I guess. Whenever I think of like I guess luscious milk in my mind, I always picture either when we see it in Hive Stop versus in like dude's fridge, or when or just the picture for like Arthur bringing Aqueous his glass of luscious milk that he muscle beast milk, I guess, and he breaks with his hands and then requests a towel to clean himself up because he's too strong. The glass could not stay within his grasp. How's she doing that? She didn't give birth to Briska. Maybe meds or something. Um, I think there's other ways to like get yourself to like body to do certain things. It doesn't have to be just for meds, but yeah. Because in can't remember. I can't remember. I was saying, I can't remember. I read something saying that in theory, guys can like men can do in theory, right? They can have breast milk. Is that right? Or are there only specific things? We have like a specific whatchamacallit. All it takes is like I guess maybe it does take meds. Hmm. The answer is the power of love. That's the best answer. Uh, I've mentioned mpreg this stream. I've mentioned men breast milk this stream. Okay. Have you two thought about what to name your grubs? It's just one grub. LOL. Oh, that's a relief. I've actually been very worried about your well-being, considering how human grubs are born. Why? Well, don't they have to eat their way out of the womb? Kanaya. It's what Carcat told me. Fucking, you watch Alien one time, and that's what you think a human baby is? Carcat gets all his information on humanity from the movies. And Dave, which is even worse than the movies.
Wait a fucking minute. What movies are they watching?
Nothing too graphically misleading, I suspect. I equally suspect that any time there's a human birthing moment on camera, Carcat probably turns away, too disgusted to watch, while Dave continues filling his ear with more lies about human biology. God, Dave gets it. Um, uh, if Dave did not get clowned on by Cal way back when, he'd be such a cooler character.
LOL.
Then I was given inaccurate information. Yes, phew. If that were true, how would our species have survived? We would have a 100% maternal mortality rate during childbirth. Yes, yes, I forgot how primitive medical technology was on your planet. Then how are humans born? Use your head for a moment, darling. Oh, I see. Damn. It's really funny because Carcat never know, but then would the death even be heroic? LMA? Oh, I'm sorry, John. All this girl talk must be making you uncomfortable.
Can we set this subject to something less gross and weird?
Was.
So, is Briska really the name you're going with?
Kanai gives John an inquisitive, wide-eyed look, as if there could be no conceivable reason for someone to ask this question. Yes, of course. Yes, of course. Why would we change her name when she's nearly a year old?
Well, it's not like it would hurt or anything. Didn't Kanai just say she doesn't have ears yet?
Damn. John, don't be so rude. Damn, he just said that.
I'm not trying to be rude. I just think it's a little weird.
I don't see why. I mean, she's practically a clone of Vriska.
Um, yeah, Kanaya, I know. That's why it's weird.
I appreciate your concern, John, but it's not that weird to name a child after an important figure from your youth. What were you thinking of naming your own child? John hesitates, adjusts his glasses for want of something to do with his hands. This is a conversation he's been dragging his heels on for months. Back when Roxy first got pregnant, it was all they talked about. But now that she's so close to the due date, all the subject does is make his pulse go shaky. Harry Anderson Egbert.
Roxy, we hadn't. I mean, I didn't think we were decided on that.
I don't know. You seem piece set on it. Damn. They're giving these kids names before fucking what is it? The whole it was 13 years ago, he was good in life. It is only today he'll be given a name. Wow. This kid is speed running it. Uh, he was. What's bugging him about it is that Roxy didn't seem to have any suggestions of her own. Rose stops breastfeeding Vriska and and hands her off to Kanaya. She comes to sit beside John, setting a hand on his knee. She speaks kindly. Wasn't that the name? Wasn't that the guy from Night Court?
Yeah, which was.
A show that reminds you of your father. I think in this new world we've created, it's important to carry the torch of what we've left behind us. We must name the next generation for the fallen heroes that we admire.
Wait, wait. Admire Friska now?
It's true that Briscoe was a controversial figure, even at the best of times. But she did defeat Lord English, John. Okay. Oh God, Harry. What a name. But yeah, this is this is a name breaking the conventions. Yeah, the lore doesn't matter post canon. We definitely forgot about that lore. Uh, this remark seems to cure John of his shaky pulse problems. If only for a moment his heart seems to stop beating altogether. It shocks him in a way that causes him to feel the planet turning under his feet. He whips his head up to look at Rose intently. She seems alert. Her gaze is precise. She doesn't seem ill or off or confused at all.
No, she didn't. Friska didn't defeat Lord English.
Rose doesn't say anything. No one says anything. Damn, John. John just saying everything.
Rose, no one knows what happened to Lord English.
Of course we do. Vriska used her juju and her accompanying ghost army to defeat him. Why else would we be here?
I don't think that's what actually happened, though.
Then what did happen, John?
I, I just said no one knows. Rose, come on. You're the one who told me all this.
I told you what?
About a year ago, you were feeling bad and asked me to come over.
Vriska Circuit, Lord 1. Lord English 0. About a year ago. Damn, damn, they're moving quick as fuck. Like quicker than fuck. Damn. I assume they have to.
And then you gave me this big speech about canon and being like outside canon and not canon, and other shit like timelines and fate and my anime dreams.
That's all in the past, John. Everything worked out in the end. Why are you getting so upset about this?
You gave me a list of instructions and told me that I had to use my retcon powers to go to a very specific point in time to defeat Lord English when he was still a kid. And you told me that I had to do this to validate the sequence of reality. But I didn't. I was already ready to go. I thought I was going to die, honestly. But then you.
John swivels around to point a finger at his wife. It comes across more accusatory than he means it to be.
Roxy, you and Calliope told me that I had a choice, and I made a choice, which is why I ended up staying. But did it really all work out at the end? If I didn't stop Lord English, then, are we even really here at all?
The three gals in the room exchange a series of concerned glances. Do they truly think he's crazy? Are they hiding something from him? John can feel himself trembling. It's not possible that he's remembering this wrong, is it? It can't be. If he presses his eyes shut, he can still see the lines of the black hole crackling space apart around him. Cracking space apart around him. It seems like such a big deal at the time, and then suddenly it felt like nothing at all. Why? It's almost like there's two timelines or something. Roxy leans over and sets a cool hand on John's forehead. You doing okay there, babe?
I'm fine.
You're the one. You're the one's not doing okay. He nearly shouts, but then he realizes it's just going to make him sound crazier than he already looks. But he brushes Roxy's hand and stands abruptly, looking woozy and sweating at the temples. His skin is tight and clammy. too hot and too cold at once.
I just need some fresh air.
Want me to come with you?
No, I mean, no. I need a moment alone. I think I'm just getting those, Junad jitters. Haha, that must be it.
Oh, I hit my mic. John, take your meds. Oh, oh, of course, that makes sense. Take care of yourself, hun. John grabs his coat and sprints out of the hive. He vaults into the air and follows the breeze up, coasting over the tree line and out of the troll suburb that Kanai and Rose have made their home in. Had their home in. Furiously begins typing on his phone.
To Rezi, I know that you got important stuff to do out there in Paradox Space, but I really need to hear from you. On my side, it's been months since we last talked, and I can't figure out if it's because I said something wrong or if something terrible happened to you. Things here on Earth are.
John shuts his eyes for a moment and takes a deep breath. The breeze that rattles over the forest seems off foul, somehow stale, like air that's been recycled multiple times.
They're not great. I mean, on the surface, everything is fantastic. Everyone's so happy, and it finally seems like we're all making real progress as adults. But at the same time, everyone's also acting crazy. I feel like I'm the only sane person left in this entire universe. I'm the only one who seems to care about anything. I mean, care about anything. Bigger. Bigger than, like, what to name a baby, or who's stuck in a terrible relationship with Hugh. Oh my god, this probably sounds so pathetic to Rezi. I'm seriously pathetic. It's so selfish of me to even be messaging you at all. I've got a beautiful wife who loves me, but it's not enough. I can't even talk to her about what we're going to name our stupid kid without it turning into some weird thing where she just goes along with whatever I want. Even when all I want for her to do, all I want for her to, all, even when all I want is for her to want something different than what I want. Okay, wait, I take that back. Our kid's not stupid. Well, okay, he hasn't been born yet, so maybe he'll turn out to be stupid eventually. What do I know? Anyway, the point is, I'm just popping off on random things at people who don't deserve it because I'm really upset right now. Not at anyone in particular. Probably just myself. Like, wow, can you believe how shitty I'm being right now? You could be dead for all I know, yet here I am begging for your attention even though my life is perfect. But I don't know who else I could talk to. Even Rose is acting weird all of a sudden. I guess what I'm trying to say is, you're the only thing that still makes sense to me, Terezi. Right now, I just really need you. Please come make some sense to me.
John notices his fingers are shaking. He makes a conscious effort to keep them still and exhales. Come make some sense to me. Good lord. He's got to put it together before he blurts out something really embarrassing. He braces himself as if splashing an imaginary glass of cold water in his own face, and reminds himself once again that he has a wonderful life, a perfect life. He's happy. God damn it. He's about to pocket his phone when he catches some movement at the bottom corner of the screen. It's an indication that someone is typing. He stops breathing until the text actually appears. Okay, loser. Tell me what happened this time. Then was it? Oh, okay. Damn. Okay. I like the build up so far in this one. Bum bum bum. 201. Cheat real quick. Okay, no. Okay. I cheated and I looked ahead just to see how many pages if I was anywhere near the next part. But I think this is I think this is it. I love Kenny from John's perspective specifically. Uh hmm. John's arc and candy is gold. Clearly. Clearly. Uh I like how wrong everything feels. It's like It's like it's I don't know. Does saying irrational anxiety make sense? Is that what Candy kind of feels like? And sometimes, I guess Dirk literally killed himself. Um, can I say that on YouTube? Is, is, hmm, I don't know if I can say that on YouTube. Actually, huh? John's are oh, but does John own a air fryer though? That's the real fucking question. Uh, Actually, does John need an air fryer? He has like the wind powers. Just like use any old oven and then just whoosha the air. I wish I had Candy right now. Fuck. I kind of do. Hmm. 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 Okay. I think I prefer meat. I'm on page 18 of Candy. I think that I said there was like 40 pages. Yeah. 40, 18. So, hmm. Okay. So I'm thinking about adding an extra section on either uh Sunday or Tuesday where I just like read a little more of the epilogues for just like with a 30-minute time, like a little 30 minutes, like an hour maybe, like section, probably 30 minutes, maybe 45 minutes of just reading some more of the epilogues just to get it going a tad bit quicker. It's kind of one thing I'm thinking about doing. And I guess I'll make a poll for this. Do I add an extra minutes on of epilogue reading? Ba dun dun dun. Sunday, Tuesday. Keep it Wednesday only. I'll throw that out there. Oh. Uh, man, John's suddenly going, wait, what? When they start talking about battle against English is so good. I prefer meat while enjoying candy. I also enjoy how fake it feels. Uh, hmm. There's like a air of no. Feels like a lot of fake. What was I saying? Irrational anxiety from John, in a way. It's everything's going so well, and he just can't accept it. Because I'm curious what's gonna happen. It could be fun just to let the guy stay like actually have a nice life, and he's just fucking, and he himself can't handle such a thing. To me, there's some sort of air of grief. Uh, mm, okay. And then, so this Friday, we'll be back to Vast Error. We are just, is it that I'm just, oh, Vast Error. I will be meeting the dog boy. The dog boy? Was it a dog boy? The dog, right? Almost a dog lad thing. Be meeting them, be acting as seeing what they do. Fast Air has been it's intriguing so far. I'm liking it quite a bit. Curious what happens later on. And hmm. Fast Air is the one with like the weird like not weird, like the extra supplemental material, right? Kind of like Homestuck. That's the one closer esque to how Homestuck does things. Dun 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 dun. Dun. Or was Snowbound? Oh yeah, Snowbound is a vast air story. Oh, I don't want to read that. And I don't know if this one is Thaumatrope. I don't know if that one's related to vast air. I assume it is, but it could be anything. And then one of my friends was telling me that they did a vast air does have a lot of supplements. And one of my friends was telling me that they did or they are doing a unofficial like fan adventure kind of thing. I guess like a fan adventure, right, or something in the Discord. I'm kind of curious on that one. Hmm. I want to look in the Discord. I want to see how the Homestuck Discord looks, and I'm gonna have to wait so long to see anything in there. I feel because I'm behind the new people, like moi, right? But moi is behind them. Oh, yeah. What? Do I have anything I want to add here before I close up shop? I don't think I do. So I'll be back on Friday, and I'll be back with Vast Air. The new readers are in epilogues right now still. Oh. Oh, I assume they'd be like quite a bit further than me by now. I guess the epilogues don't have the cool little pictures like the comic did. No. I mean, I'm still a zoomer, right? I'm a zoomer. Damn, wait. Yeah. Yeah, speculative fan designs for their kids as the made released happened fan adventure. Okay. But be back Friday. This is the end of the stream for realsies. And yeah, I'll be back. Thanks for stopping by, um, hanging out, listening to me struggle to read the human language in these Homestuck epilogues, the candy route. Be back on it looks like Sunday and Tuesday are half and half, so I'll figure that. I guess I get to choose. I get to choose on that front. Oh my gosh. But yeah. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for hanging out. And yeah, bye.